Hey guys, we want to welcome you to what might be the final round for this Dragon Ball Super Spring Regionals. This is going to be round 7. However, this is going to be to the first undefeated. We have a very interesting game for you. We have 2 undefeated guys who is going to be sitting at our top table, duking it out to see who is the real undefeated player in this tournament, in our first card market tournament.
Yeah, we have 2 as I'm saying. I've literally lost my line of thought as I was talking. What is going on? It's been a long day, but it's okay. We do have these 2 players who, just repeating what Melvin said, that they are undefeated. So the winner of this will most likely take the entire tournament. So we do have Syn Shenron versus Broly the Awakened Demon. So we have 2 very, very aggressive decks, 2 very big decks as well, that we both have had on stream throughout the entire day. So to see Syn Shenron in this format, again, in a best of 1 format, showing that it is quite dominant. We all knew Broly was going to be quite dominant as well, because it is in a best of 3 format as well. But also, I have to say, let's just recap the entire event a little bit. We've seen some decks that we didn't really think we would see, haven't we, Melvin? And some surprises along the way.
Yep, definitely. We do have quite a bit of showing. Some meta decks that we are expecting, for example, like Mecha Freezer, like Thurdos. We know that all this deck, it's going to make the appearance like King Piccolo. However, we do have things like Skillless, like Krillin, who shows up. We have very interesting decks like Kula, who actually won a recent tournament. Also, I think it tops a recent tournament. So not surprisingly that it makes an appearance. However, while we are scrolling through the different deck lists, we do also see Skillless Gohan makes an appearance. But this is the thing about this BT1 best of 1 instead of best of 3, is that you can also choose to take your opponent by surprise. That is also a strategy, because they will be prepared to play the meta game, but you are not gonna do it. But you can take them by playing something a little bit different. So take them out for a walk so that catch them by surprise. All right. So I think the players are almost ready. So let's go straight, and we are gonna be looking at what might be the last game in this tournament today. All right.
So starting off starting off straight away, I should say. Oliver Symonds, we do have playing Syn Shenron, and we do have Ivan Serrano Perez playing Broly, who we saw in our last round as well. So again, like I just said, just to repeat, that these are 2 very, very powerful decks, very strong decks. Syn Shenron playing the mid-range, I would say, even though it is kind of aggressive at times, playing the mid-range, more controlling. Broly obviously being just the outright, obviously if you start off right, which we do see, Ivan has got his 1 drop. He's able to search out the bar. Will he go into the 3 drop? Well, we see that he's getting the 4 drop, sorry, there. So all of it's coming together. He's just picking out his pieces 1 by 1. So how do you think Broly will fare up against Syn Shenron? Like how Syn Shenron can control the field? How do you think that's going to work?
I think it all ties down to, or it all goes down to how the Syn Shenron is going to be building his deck. Is he going to be building the defensive variant, or is he going to be building the aggressive variant, or somewhere during the mid range, something like that? But what we can know over here is that as a Broly player, Ivan has one of the best best opening that he can hope for, which is by the 1 drop tournament promo down to bar, picks up a Broly that you do not have in your hands. Then with that ability, when you've played that 3 drop, you are able to play a Paragus just to pick up even more cards. So as a Broly player, as Ivan is doing, this is going to be one of the best ways that he can open up a deck. And is going first, it's a very big thing in this card game, ain't it? So there is also this advantage over there.
Yeah, I have to say, like, the fact that this game has a mulligan obviously also plays out. So you can obviously pick out cards that are going to be part of your early turn pieces that you'll need. So that's one thing that's really, really good about this game, I have to say. So it gives the options for both players to, as I stated, just pick out their pieces. We see that Ivan needs his swap pieces, his 1 drop Broly that he needed to get the rest of it out. And so far, it's all worked out for him. So let's see how this all pans out. Broly is swinging into the leader, and Oliver is just taking that straight without any hesitation.
So untapping one, the turn has ended for Ivan, our Broly player. It goes down to the Syn Shenron player with 2 energy. Syn Shenron player can actually do a lot, especially with that 30k revenge blocker. He's able to go up that chain over there, and he could even swing with the blocker with that revenge blocker Omega Shenron. The reason is the leader's ability. It's able to untap the revenge blocker at the end of the turn. And guess what you don't want to do when you're a Broly player? Swing into a revenge blocker, because that would be very devastating. It's only cheap and you can swing many times per round if you have the chain. But once your chain is broken, that is where the Broly player, it's going to be very, very vulnerable. Because your chain, if you're going to play it, it's going to be pretty expensive. Right now, the 4 drop has been played. That means the leader is unable to attack for the next turn. This is pretty huge, considering that you want to get the crit, you want to get the damage going, especially if you're a Broly player, you want to end the game fast. But that is the power of Syn Shenron. It has control, it has aggression. That's just amazing. Good play from the both players so far.
Very true, very true. Now, the question is that do you think we'll see that Broly SCR coming down again? Obviously, if he has it in hand, it would be awesome to get it. But do you think that's what he would try and dig for as well?
Yeah, I'm not too sure about this, because there is a difference between the both games over here, ain't it? Because in the previous game, Ivan wants to go for a longer game. He was able to go up to the last of the chain, and because he is at the last of the chain, which is 35k, he's able to play the SCR. I'm not too sure at this point of time when he's playing against Syn Shenron, that is an option that he wants to go for. So let's see what are the options here. It is going to be pretty interesting though, and I believe that what we are seeing here, the Oliver, which is our Syn Shenron player, he is trying to dig for his pieces, trying to get up to that Omega Shenron. What do you think? Should the Omega Shenron player or the Syn Shenron player, should he go for aggression, or should he be a little bit more defensive in this matchup?
It's like you said, it's a bit difficult to tell, but I do think that obviously as a Syn Shenron player, you just want to get up to 6 energy so you can activate your leader ability and then just swamp the field and proceed to go for game there. I think here also just to oh, I've lost my train of thought. There we go. Sorry, I am thinking of it. I know. I'm just trying to get the words out at the moment. So just to control the tempo, that's the word I was going to say. There we go. So to control the tempo of the game, I think is what Oliver here will try to go for, so that, as I stated, he can get to 6 energy, tap 6 for his leader's effect. But I think it's going to be hard for him, because Ivan is going to put so much pressure in these early turns, especially with the amount of attacks they can get with the swap mechanic as well. So, yeah, I'm interested to see how this is going to pan out. And like we said, both these players are EXO. The winner of this is most likely going to take the event. So there's a lot riding here. There's a lot on stake.
What I like about what Ivan is doing, the Broly player over here, is that instead of going up the chain, he is diverting by going wider. You can see that he plays another 1 drop trying to go up the chain, because there is already a revenge blocker on the board itself. So the revenge blocker, no matter how powerful he is, he can swing, yes, he can untap at the end of the turn, yes, but no matter what, it is still 1 revenge blocker. So he can only take out 1 target. So what Ivan is doing here is to divert, play a little bit wider, let the opponent choose which one he wants to take out, because no matter which one you're going to take out, too bad, another one it's going to come anyway. So he's taking the early turns, making his board a little bit wider, making the blocking a little bit more difficult for his opponent. Here we see the Piccolo Jr. make his appearance again. This card is devastating, especially in this deck. Even though it is 9k, even though you play just with 1 marker, this card in an aggressive deck, it is going to stay there for quite some time. It is very, very sticky unison.
Very true indeed. And I just want to touch on the fact that you said about being the Syn Shenron being a revenge blocker. Now, revenge is something that we've not really seen since the early games. It's not really been relevant enough, I would say. But obviously, around set one, set two, set three, I think it was, revenge was a big thing, especially with some of the cards there. So it's nice to see that these newer cards using all of these different skills, a variety of skills, I should say, as well, like blocker and revenge. So quite interesting to see.
Yep. Revenge did make a comeback because when Barrier was introduced in Series 3, people realized that, oh, Barrier get past, Revenge actually get past Barrier. So there was a little bit of resurgence during that point of time, but slowly again, it gets faded out. But no matter what, when a Revenge blocker, when something with Revenge is on the field, everybody needs to respect that because no matter how powerful your card is, nothing gets past Barrier. So just be really careful. Everybody needs to respect the power of Revenge in this card game. Just simply amazing. Here we go. It's going to go up the chain to the 4 drop. Such a powerful card, even though it is a 10k, because it is a 7. This card, it's going to swing at 20, giving a Unison a marker, I believe, and also sending more cards from your opponent's hands to the warp. Again, not permanent. Your opponent has the chance to pick it up at the end of their turn.
Yeah, very true indeed. Like just getting that one card out of your opponent's hand for the turn is also quite big. We saw in the last round that he was able to take 3 cards out of his opponent's hand for the turn, obviously, and then he gets them back at the end of his turn. So it's good. Like keeping pressure is what is Ivan's main strategy here. So he just needs to keep the pressure on to Oliver. Hopefully, Oliver won't get to 6 energy in time, and Ivan can finish him off there. So just going up the chain, he's got another 1-drop Broly, so he can do more than one if he has the cards in hand, which he should, because swap obviously just puts the cards back in your hand as well. But yeah, like I said, so Ivan on 4 life, Oliver now on 4 life as well. So Oliver can awaken here, but again, only 3 energy so far. Is 3? 2 energy, I think it is, because that card was sent to the warp.
Yep. What is for those people who just join us on Twitch, this is the Dragon Ball Super Spring Regional by Cardmarket. This is the first one that we have in this series. This is round 7, even though it is only round 7 out of 175 players, but this is the first one to the undefeated. This is the match here that we are seeing. This may be the last match that we are going to be having. And because after this match, anybody who wins will be crowned the undefeated player in this whole tournament. So you are in for a very good game. We have quite a lot of players, quite a lot of very good players, and these 2 players are the top in the whole bracket right now. So pretty interesting match right in front of us.
Yes, definitely. Like we haven't seen Ivan explode as much as he did in the last match. So he's only gone up to this 4 cost Broly. He hasn't got into his 5 or his obviously the big boy himself. But maybe he's just lacking the cards in hand. He hasn't got all that he needs at the moment. So he's just taking his time because he knows that Oliver needs to get to 6 energy in order to do his blowout turn. So before then, he can probably try and control the game or try and be as aggressive as possible. So let's see how they both are playing really well. They're both playing a little bit conservatively. Like I said, not one player isn't going all in while the other one's just like relaxing for a bit. So this is quite interesting to see.
Or maybe that one of the strategy that is employed by Ivan right now is respecting that he might be facing an opponent with an aggressive version of Syn Shenron. And that is something that we should not scoff at because the aggressive Syn Shenron is also a very difficult deck to deal with. Well, it really depends. It might be a trick that our player here, Oliver, is trying to set up by showing him the revenge blocker and said, hey, I'm playing a slow game. But you can see there is a double striker already on the board in the drop area. So maybe this was like a plan that Ivan just wants to make sure that he respects that there could be possible aggression coming from the Syn Shenron player himself. As you can see, that this is the 3-drop. What does this guy do? When he swings, it does something, ain't it?
Yeah, it's Rage, is that not? That's Rage Shenron? No, it's not. Sorry, Haze. That's the one. Haze. Yeah, so this is from 10 when it first came out, if I remember correctly.
I just realized that I said that when he swings, it does something. This is basically 90% of the cards. I just say,
Pretty much.
I just say it. Okay, interesting. Let's see. Okay, this is a 3 cost. Let's see, what does it do?
This one just gets your 5 cost as well. Oh no, you can evolve the 5 cost on top of it. Sorry, the 4 cost, I think it is. But interesting. It's a little different to the Syn Shenron deck that we saw already in the previous stream, in the previous round. Sorry, I don't think we saw a Haze Shenron in that list.
Maybe the double striker, because that is also a very good board clear, which he has it on the board. The 4 course, I'm not too sure why that 4 course it's like on the board though. Did you see it in his energy area? What's going on with that card?
I think that card is what was removed from the hand for Broly's effect. Yes.
All right. Okay.
He just left it there because, as you can see, his field is not really the biggest, so he's just trying to make use of as much space as he can.
All right. So he brought Oceanus into his hands, and I believe that he's gonna play Oceanus right now, most probably. Is he? Okay, he's gonna pop it, and he's gonna evolve that 5-drop. Yes, correct.
Yeah, so that's Omega Shenron. That is the SPR from set 12, I think it is.
It's the new one, and it looks so pretty.
Yep, very true indeed. Like we've said it in the stream already, but the artwork on this card is absolutely insane. In a lot of the cards just look so nice. Like, let us know in the chat, like what SPRs are you really looking for as well? As even with set 13 coming on the horizon, they've revealed a lot of stuff. There's a lot of good cards in there as well. So it'll be interesting to see to know what you feel.
Yes. It's gonna look really good. I think Kai looks really good. Demigra looks really good. Did you see the review yesterday for the SPRs? Demigra looks really good in my opinion.
Yeah, I have to say, like, I do like the Kai. The Supreme Kai SPR just looks really nice. I do agree with that.
Did you know what did the Omega Shenron pick for his ability? They sent a mono yellow card to the drop area to his owner's warp. I believe that he picks Oceanus, right?
Yes, he did pick Oceanus, yes. So Oceanus was sent to the warp. But again, as I stated, like, this is a very different build to what we saw prior. Like, we didn't see this Omega Shenron come out in the prior Syn Shenron deck. And he hasn't even awakened yet as well. Let's just state that he still has the option to awaken in this turn.
So what's good over here is that the Syn Shenron player has the ability to awaken. What is very powerful about that is that instead of choosing one card to untap, he's able to choose all his cards to untap at the end of the turn. And because he picks Oceanus, that means he has a barrier blocker on the board together with a blocker revenge on the board. So trying to slow down the aggression from the Broly player, which is pretty good. And at the end of the turn, he gets to have his 4-drop Haze Shenron back. I believe that is 4-drop.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, and he's activating the Cryomancer now. So that's not Cryomancer, that's Nouveau Shenron, is it? No, that is Ice Shenron.
Yep. And
it's a little bit difficult to see on my computer at the moment. But
yes, that is Nova Shenron.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay. It is very important here, though. It's a little bit of flexing that he is showing the Broly player that he does have Haze Shenron on his Venomous Mist in his hands, because what happens over here is what he can do is that he can discard it, and when this card attacks or used in a combo, he gets to choose one of his opponent card in rest mode with energy greater than energy cost and KO it. Guess what's happening in Broly? most of his card, it's going to be greater than his energy cost when he wants to go for the game. It's just trying to show him that, say, hey, you want to go for the game? Think of this, right? If you want to commit, you're going to die.
That's the thing. Now, pulling out so many blockers, Syn Shenron can pull out a lot of blockers really, really easily. As we've seen, we've got 2 on the board, isn't it? 2? No, he's got 1. Sorry,
2.
So,
because the Omega Shenron, it's also
yes.
Yep.
Yeah, that is correct. So he's got 2 on the board, and they're not just blockers; they're blockers with revenge or barrier. So they're not going anywhere, and they're both 30k blockers. So they're pretty big. They are pretty big. So in order for Ivan to now swing and to obviously take the game, he has to think about what he can afford to combo out, what he can afford to lose.
Mm-hmm. It is going to be a very interesting swing over here, but what is good is that both of them, their hand size looks pretty healthy. Syn Shenron is doing what Syn Shenron does, which is big defensive, barrier blocker revenge. He is not going anywhere. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, the leader swings, and he is using the blocker revenge to block it?
Interesting, yeah. Again, it's a 30k blocker, so Ivan has to combo in order to get over it. So who knows? I don't know what the play might be here, but I think he's just let that go. So he's now opting to swap into the 3-drop, getting out of Paragus as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, he is using the Syn Shenron's ability to negate the ability of the what do you call it? Most probably he is negating the ability of Broly so that he does not have the ability to swap anymore for this turn. Interesting. I would imagine that he would block it with his against a battle card, especially utilizing something with revenge. So, but he is the top seed player right now for a reason. So most probably he has things and strategy that normal people like us cannot understand.
It's very true indeed. And both players do have a decent amount of cards in hand, as you said. So we do see Ivan swapping the 3-drop into the 5-drop now. So Oliver has to remove a card from his hand for the turn, till the end of his turn, and he's opted to choose the Hey Shenron there. So 1 less card in Oliver's hand. It's not a card that's really going to do him any use either, because he already has a Hey Shenron on the field. So.
Mm-hmm. But again, with that Omega Shenron 8-drop on the board itself, which is now in rest mode, anything that comes into play after the come into play effect, it's going to be a vanilla card. That's how powerful that card is.
Oh yeah, definitely there as well. So that's going to be pretty powerful as well.
Mm-hmm. So he can swing, yes, but this is not going to be a critical swing. And of course, there's going to be blocker option. This might be a good chance, though, because the Syn Shenron player is tapped out. So there is a little bit less things that he can do. So let's see. But what is very important for the Syn Shenron player right now is to remove that marker on the Piccolo.
Yes, I can agree with that. I do think because Piccolo is now on 5 markers, as we can see.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's 5 markers. So obviously, any more is just going to be a bit hard. And he has got the options to get rid. Obviously, he's got a lot of cards on board to attack with. They're big cards. They've all got 30k attack, where the Piccolo only has 9,000. So he does have options, as I stated, but I think he's just trying to weigh out what is the best decision here. What do you think? What would you go for? What would you try and
I would just keep on swing with my Shadow Dragon onto that Piccolo. The reason is simple, because of the leader's ability. It doesn't matter. All the Shadow Dragon, it's gonna awake. It's gonna come back active and do their job at the end of the turn. And we can see, and we can see that there is an activation again with the new 8-drop Omega Shenron, which is to send Oceanus into the warp and against the ability of Oceanus, which is going to be barrier blocker. Having barrier, it's always nice.
Yeah, definitely. And we did see a Violent Ray as well from Ivan there, and that's a very powerful card. We've talked about it already, how it compares to Topo, how it's slightly better than Topo, but also like Topo has its uses as well. So I think Violent Raise here is very, very what is great for Ivan because it has two abilities that either your opponent can't attack with the battle cards over 20k or under 20k unless they discard a card from their hand. So that's really interesting here because it forces your opponent to think differently. So Oliver now has to think if he wants to attack, he'll have to discard a card. So who knows?
When it comes to this violent ray itself, it is actually a step further. It just says no, you cannot attack with battle cards 20k or more. There is no discussion with violent ray. That is why there are people who runs violent rays over topo, because topo, depending on the hand size, if your opponent wants to go for the game, if you're just down to 1 life or the double strike range where they can go for it, they would gladly pay that too. But violent ray just says no. However, what's interesting over here is that when it comes to Syn Shenron, if you're looking at the board, there is only one card that cannot swing any further, which is that Omega Shenron 30k. However, the rest of the option, taking note that the Nova Shenron, it's able to summon another Shadow Dragon. It's going to be pretty. I'm not too sure if the Violent Ray it's a good option to be played though.
It kind of helps as we stated. It does help, but I guess it's just like what the player sees fit.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like going between the turns, how versatile the card can be in terms of like we stated that it can literally stop attacks. It can stop your opponent dead in your tracks. So it's just interesting to see. And I'm not seeing Ivan going as aggressive as he was in the previous round. Like Oliver's on 4 energy now, so he's 2 turns away from doing his blowout turn. So let's see. Hopefully, Ivan can pull out something in his next couple of turns.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Nova.
He's got 1 energy open. Sorry.
Yep, he's going to be tapping that energy and doing that burst and bring out another 2-drop. What is that card? I can't really see it. Okay, it is the Eye Shenron. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah. That's it. Eye Shenron.
Mm.
Yeah, the Cryomancer.
Okay, so the Eye Shenron Cryomancer, I think he is just playing it for the 15k swing in it.
Yeah, it's just another body on board. It doesn't. Yeah, it just says discard a card from your hand, play up to 1 Shadow Dragon with energy cost of 1 from your deck with his skills negated. That's his active main. So, I don't think he's really pushing for anything. It's just another 15k.
All right, so we do have some fans on the chat right now who's really wanted the Syn Shenron to win, but of course we also do have fans for Broly itself. Both decks do have their own fans. It really depends, right? Or do you want to play control or do you want to go aggressive? You know, different players have different play styles that we kind of naturally gravitate to, so it's natural. So guys, if you're on the chat, if you're watching with us, joining us for this one, maybe the last game for this Dragon Ball Super Spring Regional, the first card game that we have, card game tournament that we have brought to you by Cardmarket this year, please put down in the chat who are you rooting for and who do you really, really want to win.
Exactly that. Now I'm in both two worlds. I really like the Syn Shenron deck, but again, Broly as a deck as well is just really powerful. So, who would you root for here?
I'm also stuck. The reason is that I like control decks, but however, I do not like Syn Shenron as the character. But I don't really like aggressive deck, but I really like Broly as the character. So I'm torn in between. I'm really torn in between. So I cannot pick, and I don't want to pick because as casters, I think Azeem, both of us, we cannot pick a side, ain't it?
Very true, very true. We are impartial here. We have to be neutral. Yeah. But at the same point, this is quite intriguing. I am really engulfed in this game. I am really looking forward to see how Ivan can overcome this. Look at how many cards now. That's what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dragons that Oliver has on board. Again, like you said, there's blockers, they've got revenge. There's 2 30k big boys. There's a couple of 15k. So that's a lot that Ivan has to deal with. And We haven't seen the SCR yet. Like as we've stated before, he hasn't gone as been explosive as he did in the last round, but he still has the options. He still has that 35k Broly on board now, which he can, if he has a secret in his hand, he can get overcome. He can go into it, but those blockers are posing a big threat.
Yes, correct. No matter what happens, you can bring out your SCR. Your SCR can have barrier, but barrier does not get past blocker. So all these blockers on the board. But I think this is how the Oliver wants to play it, right? Which is to make sure that on the board, because you know what's one of the weakness when it comes to Broly, the Broly, Red Broly, is that it does not really have very good option when it comes to board control. So we can see what is happening now is Syn Shenron is running rampage with all these shadow dragons that comes back active at the end of the turn. So they can use it for combo, you can use it for swing, and most importantly, you can use it for defensive option, like being a blocker at the end of the turn. So it is a pretty even match, both players at 3 lives. I'm glad that this is a game that we get to cast for one of our last matches here today.
Very true, and I do believe that whoever the winner of this game would be is well deserving, because as we've seen, look at Oliver's board. Like, his board is huge. From what started off as probably Ivan taking more control in terms of the board, he has obviously just turned that around. And we do see Pan coming out now as well. I can't remember if it actually gets his effect while it's brought back.
You mean with the Piccolo with the Piccolo's Unison?
Yeah, with the Unison leader effect. Does it get its effect?
Yeah, I believe so.
It does. Okay, cool. Just double checking, because I actually could not remember. But Paragus as well, allowing him to search for another Broly. But the big 35k Broly has unique, don't they? They all have unique, I think. So you can't have more than one, obviously, out.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I think you can have more than one.
Oh, you can have more than one. Oh dear.
Oh, let me check. Let me check on this.
I'm pretty sure the 35.
Yes, they have unique. You're correct.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. So it would be a bit silly if he could have more than one of each copy out.
Yep, only the big one though. So he can still go up to the 5k, 30k critical, 5 course 30k critical. However, because that Syn Shenron, it's on the board itself, that 9-drop Syn Shenron that is on the board, most of the cards that it's going to come in this turn, it's not being able to swing for their critical. They will not have their skills, except they come into play skill over here.
Sure. So now all of these attacks have got an extra 5k from the pan, and they've all got double strikes. So this Broly swinging in is a 25, I think it is now, because it was a 20k base. Or no, it might be. Is this a 15k Broly? I can't remember.
I think this is a 10k base, but with the extra 10k, so this is 20 because of Serrano.
Yeah, that's the one. There we go. So it's 25 with the pan. So that's a big number going in. The magical 25k. Novus just gets out of it. He blocked it, I think, as well.
Which is he using to block? With a board like that, it is actually very difficult to see what's going on here.
Yeah. He's got so many cards there that it's just getting a little difficult.
Yep. Please take note over here that he is unable to go up the chain already when he plays a battle card, because the 9 Omega Shenron will negate that swap skill also. That is really, really powerful. So much occurring value just out of one battle card that has been on the board since turn 2. No one is going to take care of him. He's going to give you more and more value each single turn. It is just so crazy. Again, he is using that revenge blocker to block a leader's attack. What's going on over here?
I think he's just trying to force out the combo, because the leader gets critical, I think it is, doesn't it, as well?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I just have to double check. It's been a while since...
But he does have a barrier blocker on the board also, though. So why not take out a battle card when they swing? Or maybe... You know, I think he wants to bait the Broly player to swing for the game using one of his battle card. You know what's going to happen?
Yeah, it could be.
He has a Haste Shenron in his hands, and he's going to use Haste Shenron to KO that card. So I believe that might be it.
Very interesting. Yeah, so it does say permanent. If you have a red Broly BR in play, this card gains critical. And then when it attacks, you draw a card and it gets 5k. So it goes to 25k, 20k critical. And with the pan, that would be a 25k critical double strike. So that's pretty big.
Yeah, that is pretty big. And yep. Oh, man on a mission. It
Man on a
is going to
mission.
be Overwhelm. What a powerful option to
Yeah.
be played at this time. And he is going to activate the Syn Shenron's ability, the Omega Shenron's ability, negate the critical skills. But it negates the Overwhelm. So does it stays on the board at the end of the turn? Oh, here we go.
There we go.
Okay.
We do see, so he's used both blockers. And again, he gets to activate the skill again.
Yep, it doesn't matter now because the Omega Shenron can once again negate the skills of that battle card. So even though you are SCR, Ultimate does not block you from playing the from the effect of that Syn Shenron.
Sure, but it's just good to note that any on-play effects still activate. So any autos that say when this card is played, they still activate. So Broly, as the SCR, is very powerful, and it still goes through, even though it may not be a double strike because it was played after the pan. It's still a big card.
It is a big card, and also don't forget that this card itself doesn't have only a on-play effect. It does have a permanent that says that all your opponent's leader card battle in your all cards in your opponent's leader area, battle area, combo area gets minus 5k power and combo. So anything that the Syn Shenron player it's gonna hit, gonna swing and try to hit Broly right now, is just gonna hit a little bit softer, a little bit less, and all this combo that he has, which is 0.5k, it's useless right now. It is very important right now to take that Broly out of the board if he wants to continue to play the game. However, there is also a big problem too, which is that Broly itself does have barrier after the turn ends, so it is gonna be pretty difficult.
Yeah, quite interesting. So we obviously see the secret now. He's pushing. He's got a few combos there that he's gone with the man on a mission. Can he now swing in and take the game?
It is going to be difficult because I think the critical it's not there anymore. The double strike it's not there again. He's just going to take 1 damage.
Oh no, it should be double because it has barrier. I'm pretty sure because this doesn't get over barrier. Syn Shenron doesn't get over barrier.
Yeah, ignores barrier.
Oh, it ignores barrier.
Yep. When your opponent plays a battle card, you may choose that battle card. Ignoring barrier negates the skill for the turn, and it is not once per turn, by the way.
Yes.
Okay, so it has no barrier because of Syn Shenron, and then he's going to use Hei Shenron just to take it out. What a good play from the Omega, from the Syn Shenron player, from this Omega Shenron, Hei Shenron neutral. I'm getting tongue-tied from which Shadow Dragons we are seeing right now.
I know, right? All of them are there, but
Yeah.
really well played there by Oliver. Unfortunate for Ivan there. I think he's got only a few cards left in hands now. Oliver going into turn 5. Obviously, if he opts to charge, then he gets one turn closer to his blowout turn. Although he still has the option to obviously go for game this turn, he's chosen not to charge. Obviously, by just tapping his energy. So what's he gonna do here?
It's a pretty interesting option because what is one of the signals that you are showing your opponent when you don't want to charge? Number one, either you don't have enough cards in your hands, which this is not the case, or you are confident that with 4 energy, you are able to take your opponent out. And you tell him, I don't need that much energy just to finish the game right here, and I'm gonna show you how. So we're gonna see one of the promos making an appearance. What a beautiful, beautiful card. Omega Shenron, the ultimate Shadow Dragon, triple strike. Does Ivan has an answer for this?
There's no negate because it's going straight into combo.
Oh no, oh no,
He's
oh
just
no.
pulled it there. So really, really unfortunate for Ivan there. But Oliver has taken that, and that was really, really good to watch. Like I really enjoyed watching that game.
So it is a typical example of what we see here. The Syn Shenron, even though it is kind of like a control and defensive deck, if he wants to, he can go aggressive. That's what we see. We thought that Broly was the aggressor. Guess who's even more aggressive?
Yeah,
Syn
very
Shenron.
true. Very true indeed. And I think those blockers that he had on board, again, they're big blockers. They're 30k. They had one had revenge, one had barrier, so they were hard to get rid of. Ivan just had to think about what he was going to do, how he was going to play, and everything. And it just unfortunately didn't pay off for him. He got his secret out right at the very end, but he was just a little bit too late, unfortunately. So, congratulations to Oliver. Unfortunate for Ivan, but yeah. So just to recap over it, we've had 7 amazing rounds. We've had some great games on the stream. What do you say, Melvin?
I'm really, really enjoying the game. We have Krillin, we saw Launch also played, we have King Piccolo that we saw the whole field gets flooded, and of course we do have all these meta decks like Mecha Frieza and of course Syn Shenron. You know what it makes me really want to do right now is to go and build more decks. So if you are trying to build, if you get really inspired and you want to continue to play the game, build new decks because you saw some of these new decks that's been played and you said, hey, that's the deck you want to play. Take note that this event is organized by Cardmarket itself. You can go to cardmarket.com and also log in and create an account and get most of your cards over there too. So this is me and Azeem. Thanks for joining us. And if you have been here for the whole entire day joining us, you also are one of the champions here. So Azeem, do you have any last word to say to our viewers before we end the whole tournament?
Well, thank you very much for joining us. I think we all peaked at about 160 viewers, which is absolutely incredible. So thank you very much. Cardmarket has also passed 500 on their Twitch channel, which is again is a milestone for itself. Thank you for everyone working behind the scenes. Danilo running the event. We've got Connor running the stream as well. He's our guy. And we have a lot of people, all our judges, all the team behind the graphics and all that. Thank you to all of them. And most of all, thank you to Bandai for letting Cardmarket hold the event and for getting us involved as well. So I think I'll just end it there. I don't have anything else. But as we said, there are 2 more events. Make sure you do check those out. One's in April, one's in May as well. So from us, guys, thank you very much for watching.